What it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Concern here is that Trump called up the National Guard without permission from Gavin Newsom, governor of California and man with strong opinions about the food and business.
California just dropped a plot twist that feels more scripted than reality TV. Tyrus and Desi Lydic didn't just roast Gavin Newsom, they slow-cooked him with sarcasm and served him up like a comedy special. Picture a governor stepping into a cage match armed only with hair gel, then getting flattened by punchlines sharper than his suits. This isn't politics anymore. It's a demolition derby of egos, laughs, and one governor taking a verbal POWERBO.
The tape.
Yes!
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no.
Watch the tape. He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of that, and I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again. And she kept saying no. Before we move on, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss this. California, once the golden dream, now plays like an unfunny blooper reel. Palm trees sway, celebrities pose, and taxes climb high enough to beat their own mountain range. At the center stands Gavin Newsom, perfect hair, fixed grin, and a style of governing that feels more like a Vogue audition than leadership.
Time someone went to LA looking for a role and couldn't find one. Hey, you listen to me, 1,700 troops. You keep following your dream.
It's almost impressive how Gavin Newsom manages to be both the most photogenic man in politics and the most oblivious to the dumpster fire burning behind him. Picture him on a balcony, swirling Napa Valley wine with a confident smile. While just blocks away, people fight for tent space and the city reeks like a never-cleaned porta-potty. That's the California paradox, and Newsom wears it like a designer.
Phony. I'm totally weird. Gavin's hands. It's time for Gavin's hands.
Okay, how about this? You do this one first, then we do this one, then we give a little back and forth.
The guy who never sugarcoats, mostly because sprinkles take too much effort. He looks at Newsom's California and doesn't see paradise, but a dystopia sprayed with political perfume. His take is blunt. Newsom isn't really a governor. He's the lead actor in a bad improv show, repeating progressive lines while hoping no one notices the crime outside.
Hold up the National Guard without permission from Gavin Newsom, governor of California and man with strong opinions about the food and business class. But Newsom is
California under Newsom is like a luxury car with no engines leak, in photos but useless when you actually try to drive it. A shiny paperweight that costs a fortune just to park. He laughs at the governor selling California as the future while U-Hauls flee faster than extras in a Godzilla movie. If more people are leaving than arriving, he argues, you're not running a state, you're running a clearance sale. Then comes the hypocrisy. Newsom lectures America like a motivational speaker who doesn't realize his mic is unplugged, bragging about climate leadership while his cities drown in garbage, needles, and unpaid bills. And while Tyrus swings the sledgehammer of blunt truth, Desi slices with satire, pointing out that Newsom governs less like a leader and more like a guy stuck in an endless shampoo commercial.
Well, speaking of full of isn't it, I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is that why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation?
Please put me on the cover of GQ. His speeches aren't about governing, they're about perfecting that camera-ready squint. As if tilting his chin could solve California's crises. Desi finds joy in that absurdity, seeing his whole persona as a parody of leadership. He'd hold a press conference on homelessness in front of a mural that looks like Banksy on a caffeine binge. He doesn't fix problems. He brands them, spinning disaster into quirky urban charm. To her, California isn't run like a state's managed like a struggling startup with a bloated marketing budget. She paints Newsom as the kid who never did the homework but always had a flashy presentation, trashing everyone else's projects. And that's where the Tyrus-Desi combo lands. He hammers with cold reality homelessness, crime, businesses fleeing while she slices with satire, turning his act into a joke he can't escape.
lobbing the unfathomable accusation that Trump might make decisions without fully thinking them through, but I'm sure Trump will be the bigger man here.
Earlier in the day, the president suggesting that it might be a good idea if his border czar, Tom Homan, arrested the California governor.
Newsom governs like he's got a modeling contract on the side. Tyrus brings the facts. Desi brings the satire, and together they make him look less like a leader and more like a blooper, reel in designer shoes. It plays out almost cinematically. Newsom, in a wrestling ring. Tyrus entering like a heavyweight champ with fists full of truth, body slamming his record with empty storefronts. Sky-high gas prices, and potholes big enough to be tourist attractions. Then Desi climbs the ropes for a comedic flying elbow, mocking how Newsom fiddles with his cufflinks mid-speech, as if that could fix housing shortages. Together, they're the tag team takedown nobody expected but everyone secretly wanted. And the irony. Newsom dreams of the White House, but can't keep his own streets clean. He sells himself as America's future, but California looks more like a warning sign. Behind the shine, Tyrus and Desi reveal him for what he is, the political equivalent of a knockoff brand. Flashy packaging,
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as it's being taken care of. He's going to go up and say, listen, I'm going to sign an executive order to stop homelessness, and here's how we're going to do it. Bam, 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 go. The border, done. 5 days later, 99% no one's crossed. They're standing at the border like, you go. No, that, you go. Like, no one wants to go. Newsom goes down there and...
The finale boils down to image versus reality. Newsom may have the smile, the posture, and the Instagram-ready lifestyle. But when Tyrus pulls back the curtain, the chaos behind the stage comes into view. When Desi cracks the jokes, that chaos looks like material for a comedy special. Together, they turned Newsom's ambition into California's biggest political roast. Because leadership isn't about perfect hair or polished speeches, it's about results. And California's results speak louder than any camera flash. The state doesn't need another photo shoot. It needs a leader with solutions. Until then, Tyrus and Desi will keep serving the comedy buffet with Newsom as the unintentional main course. For Tyrus, California isn't the Golden State anymore, it's a clearance rack of failed policies. His commentary hits like a body slam. Businesses fleeing faster than Newsom can schedule another TV spot. Gas prices so high they feel like a second mortgage, and crime levels that make grocery shopping feel like a side quest in Grand Theft.
Gavin Newsom's primary crime is obviously his podcast. And even if Newsom wasn't good at his job, being a bad governor doesn't mean you should get arrested. It means you should be mayor of...
Doesn't call this leadership hits performance art gone wrong. He doesn't need clever wordplay. He just points to the scoreboard. California is losing people, money, and credibility. Yet Newsom struts around like he's winning an award. It's like a coach doing a victory lap after losing 50-0. The math doesn't add up, but the smug grin never changes. Tyrus calls it what it is. Empty victory speeches delivered over the sound of sirens and boarded up storefronts. Then Desi swoops in with her comedic scalpel, slicing through the glossy exterior. And if the lines don't land, no problem, Newsom just adjusts the lighting and tries again. To her, California looks like a live-action disaster movie, but Newsom poses as if it's a political Vogue spread. This isn't leadership, it's lifestyle branding. And the brand is as fragile as a glass of Napa Chardonnay. In an earthquake...
It's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending... I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
Single quotes as punchlines cut straight into the contradictions. Here's a governor who brags about innovation. Yet in California, innovation means finding new ways to dodge human waste on the sidewalks. She mocks his soapbox crusade against other governors, especially Florida, while his own residents are busy Googling U-Haul discounts. It's comedy gold. The loudest critic in the room is the least qualified to lecture. Newsom can't fight back against facts, and he definitely can't outshine satire when reality is already absurd enough to be the joke. Together, Tyrus and Desi expose the gap between his Hollywood level image and his real-world failures. Picture Tyrus pointing to the homelessness crisis like a referee calling a foul. Then Desi quipping that the growing tent cities are just California's new open-air housing initiative. One hammers with truth, the other spins it into comedy, and the result is devastating. But the story doesn't end with California. The real spectacle is watching Newsom try to leap from his state's chaos to to national ambition. After all, nothing screams future president like running a state, people.
Complete portrayal. I mean, the focus more on Greenland than the cost of groceries. Of course, you listen to Trump, he discovered the word groceries. He keeps literally acting like he's rediscovered a word and he's introducing it to the American people. That's serious. That's how out of touch he is.
It's like watching the captain of a sinking ship apply for a job with the Coast Guard. That's the audacity Newsom carries. And Tyrus loves ripping it apart. He notes how Newsom speaks like a man already running for higher office, while California keeps showing up like an unpaid bill. Every confident soundbite on the national stage gets undercut by headlines about failing schools, rolling blackouts, and a budget hole big enough to hide a fleet of Texas. Tyrus boils it down simply. If you can't run your own kitchen, don't apply to be head chef of the whole restaurant. Desi, meanwhile, doubles down with satire, picturing Newsom on the campaign trail pitching himself as a visionary while voters outside California whisper, "Wait, aren't you the guy whose state looks like a survival video?" What makes this roast hit harder is that Tyrus and Desi don't even share the same political lane. He comes from blunt conservatism, she from sharp comedy, but both land on the same truth. Newsom is obsessed with optics while his state spirals into chaos. And when voices that different agree, you don't need ideology to see.
The camera guy realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you, you do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is, see? They couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not, nope. Bring my hands up, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. He's playing with us. Meet me at my house, you get mine, I get you.
Like a roast battle, Tyrus throws the heavy punches: crime rates, homelessness, and the mass exodus. Then Desi steps in with the zingers. California's economy isn't thriving, it's auditioning for a tragic comedy. Back and forth they go, jabs of fact and satire, until Newsom's polished image deflates like a balloon, only funnier, because this balloon has hair gel and a fixed grin. By the end, he doesn't look like a future president, but like the world's most delusional, motivational speaker, the guy selling self-help books while his own life's in ruins. He's the actor who buys into his own hype but keeps fumbling his lines. With rising crime, crumbling infrastructure, fleeing taxpayers, and a homelessness crisis, California is a buffet of political disasters. And Newsom plays the waiter, trying to serve a 5-star meal while the kitchen burns down. That's the paradox. He wants to be the face of America's future. But California under his watch looks more like a warning sign duct-taped to a collapsing bridge.
Issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just.
Newsom wants to be respected as a serious leader, but comedians and commentators dismantle him in minutes because the gap between image and reality is impossible to ignore. That's the real destruction. He's the emperor with no clothes, just perfect hair. By the time Tyrus and Desi finish, his polished persona doesn't look like a presidential campaign, it looks like a rejected sitcom pilot titled Governor Hairgel. California smolders in the background while he poses for the cover of Leaders of Tomorrow. The problem, tomorrow has already arrived, and it looks like a train wreck. The facts alone sink any presidential hopes before they start, but Desi twists the knife with satire sharp enough to draw blood. To her, Newsom running for president is like a chef applying for Top Chef after burning down his own restaurant. She imagines him on the debate stage, hair flawless, smile frozen, while the rest of America whispers, "Isn't this the guy whose state turned into a cautionary tale?" It isn't leadership, it's parody.
Don't you miss the hobos? Don't you miss hobos?
No,
tin of beans?
My mom was pretty clear what stranger danger meant, Greg. So you didn't go hang out and the guy in the van for lollipops. She ran the other way. So
That's how I supplemented my allowance.
I can imagine. Well, speaking of full of I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is that why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous?
Destruction is complete. Tyrus strips away the illusion with numbers, failures, and blunt truth, while Desi finishes the job with mockery, turning Newsom's ambition into a comedy sketch that practically writes itself. One makes him look incompetent, the other makes him look ridiculous. By the end, all that glossy presidential aura is reduced to broken hair, gel bottles, and empty promises. The irony seals it. Newsom wanted to be the future, but instead he's the cautionary tale of what not to do. California was supposed to be the model, state innovative, progressive, leading the way. Instead, it's become the punchline, mocked by serious commentators and late-night satirists alike. And that's the ultimate humiliation. Two completely different voices. One wielding a sledgehammer of facts, the other a dagger of sarcasm, arriving at the same truth. Because leadership isn't about playing the part, it's about whether the house you're standing in is still standing. And right now, Newsom's house is burning while Tyrus calls it out, and Desi roasts marshmallows over the flames.